Good morning, day 35. It's time for another weekly update, right? So currently we have been doing this mini cut for 5 weeks. This week, my weekly average weight loss was 0.6 kg. Okay, so very close to my target of 1% per week, but not quite, right? So I did in fact contemplate between, since we are left with officially about 15 days with this mini cut, I was thinking whether I should drop my calories by 200 just to achieve that 1% goal. Okay, so here are some of the factors I did consider. Okay, so firstly, I went to look back at all the past week's data, right? I have lost about an average of 0.55 kg per week, okay, which puts me my maintenance to be around 3,000 calories, right? So 0.55 per week average, that was the weight loss that I have been losing on a week-to-week basis consistently, right? But honestly, in terms of numbers wise, right, it's not really where I would want it, okay? But sometimes we have to remember what is the objective of the mini cut, which is also to, ultimately lose the body fat in terms of putting our body fat in a good range so that we can continue the lean bulk process, right? So if possible, okay, some of the good things while maintaining this is I did not lose any strength. In fact, I did gain strength on this mini cut, okay? So that is number one, a good thing. Because if we think about the mini cut being part of the bulk, right? If I'm able to increase my strength during this mini cut, okay, once I transition back into the bulk, essentially, apart from not gaining any muscle mass, I did not really take any time off. Okay, so that's for one. Okay, I think secondly is also in terms of like the adherence, the diet fatigue, and how easy and smooth it has been so far, right? So ultimately, when it comes to mini cut, right, okay, the purpose is to remove your body fat to prime yourself for another lean bulk phase. Okay, so throughout this cut, okay, up to maybe the past few days, okay, I did not experience any sort of hunger as whatsoever. So essentially, it has been as good as I was not in a deficit at all, right? So starting, I think the past 1 to 2 days, I did start to feel hungry, which is also another good thing, right? Because ultimately, for the mini cut, you want to reset your appetite a bit so that it will be easier when you are going to be consuming higher amounts of calories. Okay, that's another factor for going on this mini cut, right? So whether is it worth it for me to decrease that last 200 calories just to lose a bit more fat? We have to weigh the pros and cons, right? So ultimately, I think I've listed all the benefits. Okay, the only negative thing about the mini cut so far is it was not in tandem with the projection, right, of 1% weight loss per week, right? But is that really important? So one thing to take note is I went back to assess my physique photos, my progress pictures, right? And then honestly, in terms of visual, right, I am definitely more than happy with where I'm at right now. Okay, I even cross-checked with ChatGPT, right? And then what they recommend is I am in a perfect position to go back into a lean bulk. Okay, and they also recommended me to remain at 2.4k calories, even though my weight loss has not been at where I want it, which is 1% per week. Okay, if I were to minus another 200 calories, bring it down to 2.2, okay, it will definitely bring me to where I want to be. But I think the trade-off might not be worth it because now I'm starting to experience some of the hunger and stuff, right? So if I were to continue at 2.4k for 2 weeks, I'll be losing more body fat, and then this hunger will only increase. Okay, so if I were to push a bit further by reducing my calories, right, potentially, okay, I might increase this. Okay, I think the last thing I want to risk is any strength drop. Okay, because we are so close to the end. Okay, I think we cannot look at the mini cut as a normal cut, whereas the goal is to be as lean as possible, right? Because that's not the goal, okay? So I think if I can lose as much fat as possible without affecting any of the positive things during a bulk, then I think this mini cut, even though we have not been hitting our target of 1% per week, right, I think it's still a pretty damn successful mini cut. So that is the plan moving forward. Of course, I think maybe we still have about 2 weeks. Things can change, right? If I feel that 2.4K is still very sustainable and maybe I want to push at the last week, I can still do that. Okay, but I think one thing I have been doing also is increasing the amount of cardio I'm doing. Okay, not just to burn more fat, but I think also from a heart health perspective, right? The recommended is to do 150 minutes of cardio per week. Okay, my cardio is around 80 minutes lah. So I still have a good amount of room to buffer. So if I want to maybe lose more body fat, maybe I'll just do some extra cardio, but nothing too crazy lah. It's more of like maybe doing one extra 30-minute session during my rest days, which I've been doing for the past week. Okay, so heading to the gym now. I'll see you guys there. Okay, so in all honesty, right, it might not have been a bad idea to take a rest day today. Okay, firstly, my tricep still very sore from the overhead machine. Okay, secondly, I'm actually feeling kind of sick, right? But it was 50-50. Right? So usually when it comes to 50-50, you know, of course, me being me, I'll definitely err towards the side of training. Okay. Okay. But the plan is not to overdo it, just to, you know, drive some blood into the muscle today. So coming into this session, okay, since my tricep is still quite sore, right? I was thinking, okay, maybe do more on the isolation work. Okay, wanted to start off with some lateral raise, then maybe some press if it doesn't bother my tricep, right? But tried a few reps of warm up with overhead press, and then, you know, not much tricep involvement, right? So I think we are good to go. Okay, so first working set will be just 20 per side. I think most likely I'll just camp here for straight sets. Okay, so let's go, first set. Yeah, so also not gonna go to failure, maybe on the last set. Okay, so this one might or might not go to failure. Okay. 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 Let's move on. So, next, chest press. I think the plan is pyramid sets. So 20, 30, 40. Okay, so do as much reps as possible. too light. Okay, so on days like this, where I can't lift as heavy, right, I will really just make up for it in terms of like the intensity. Okay, shorter rest periods. Okay. Oh, good. One more thing is also trying to refine the form, right? So for this, okay, trying to keep my back, okay, as neutral as possible. Perfect. Good pyramid set. Okay, the pump not as good today, so I think okay, maintain this weight, do higher reps, okay, but try to hit it from another angle. Okay. 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 I can't tell you how freaking pumped I am right now. Very tempted to remove the pump cover, but then, you know, we don't want to catch a cold. Ooh, beautiful. So next up, chest fly. I really want to focus on the contraction bodies. Oh. 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 Okay. Yep. Behavior. Oh, let's go. Oh, beautiful. So, super set. Okay. Okay. Done. Let's move on to abs. So keep increasing. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, okay. Whew.
New President Donald Trump has escalated escalated his war against elite U.S. universities. He's threatening to strip Harvard's tax-exempt status. The refused to submit to wide-ranging
The White House will justify the special campaign as a reaction to what it says is unpeaceful anti-Semitism and support for the Palestinians. The calls on the third of Prime Minister Warren's warned of profound changes in the world and ushered in, quote, uncertainty and instability. Mr. Wong earlier advised President Donald Trump to dissolve Parliament and issue the result elections. Mr. Wong referred to global conditions that supported Singapore's success in past decades, meaning that Marvel follows. Officials that Singaporeans must choose between the information and shape their future together. Parliament today is on April 23rd to do the time.
and the People's Party is urging voters not to take sway by politics of fear and that silence has been willfully or entrenched the one-party narrative. And it's one of the shortest and most powerful moments in world
In just a single hour, 100 doctors supposed to be done.